Okay. That's the most stereotypical thing ever. Whenever a YouTube person is doing a video where they have to talk about a thought-provoking thing and a thing that's a little left of center, a thing that they know is going to take some emotional energy, they always do that. It's at the beginning of every YouTube video like this, is this breath. Here it comes. It's not that groundbreaking. Here we go. There are many things, and there are many experiences that YouTube has brought into my life or helped facilitate that I am ridiculously thankful for. And I will always be. There are no words to express how thankful I am. Even today, I am part of a beta program to do this YouTube channel sponsorship thing where you could hit the join button down below and pay $5 a month and get a bunch of extra stuff from me and be able to help support me by giving me $5 a month. The inclusion into that beta program, I am unbelievably thankful for. The way that they even reach out and talk to me every once in a while and just see what I'm thinking, unbelievably thankful for that. That being said, obviously you've heard a million people say that I started on the platform in 2006. It is now 2018. It is not even close to what it was back then. And what I want to say now, it might be kind of jarring to hear, but this is what I think. YouTube has become kind of a trash place for creators to get their shit discovered. It really has, especially if you've been on a long time. Because what happens is, obviously, you go through years and years of working as hard as you possibly can to get all these subscribers. And then if they don't watch every single video that you put out for 12 plus years, which is completely unrealistic, the algorithm starts to show you them less and less and less. And I've talked to them about it, and what they say is, like, we're not doing it on purpose. Doesn't matter. Done, D-U-N, matter. Okay? Because it's not like, okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves. My front page is maybe 5% people I'm subscribed to, and 95% late night clips of Ellen, suggested videos of shit that I watched once, like a year and a half ago. God forbid Zoya gets on and watch Dr. Pimple Popping video, and then my whole front page is just people eating scabs and shit, and it's gross. But what it doesn't do is populate all that shit with my friend Nikki or my friend Megan or people I've been subscribed to since 2009, because the math equation has been like, oh, you must not want to see that anymore. You subscribe to it, but what we're going to do is we're going to take your subscription. You called us in, you say, I would like to subscribe to that magazine, and then you gave it to the mail carrier, and you said, put their magazine subscription underneath their back deck instead of on the porch, because we got all this other stuff that they would probably love to see, which is rarely the case for me. This is all going to end positively, by the way. I want you to know that. It's going to sound like shit. If you could make it through all the shit talk up top, I promise you there's going to be a reward at the end. So, YouTube used to be this place, what am I doing? Place that catered to people curating content for their site, and then something blew up. And we all got real popular, and people are able to make sponsor money, thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in sponsor money, because when it first started, people like me and my friends didn't fuck it up. So you're welcome. And now you get to make all this money because the pioneers didn't fuck it up, but the pioneers are getting buried. So what's the point of making stuff? Why not just find the next vessel? Remember that? Or or Twitch, or just jump on another one and start all over. This is why I can't speak for anyone else. Here's how you stay happy on the internet. And here's why I keep making stuff. If you look underneath this video right now, guaranteed, unless this one blows up for some reason, the number underneath this video, when all is said and done, skipping a lot of words today, is that number is going to be significantly different from the number that I got 2 or 3 years ago when things were getting 60, 70,000 views as soon as I put them up. You know, it's going to look way different than that. And that's for a number of reasons. And now we got people hiding subscriptions. We have 170,000 people who didn't feel like hitting a notification bell because they already hit a subscription button. And they're like, well, if the subscription button doesn't work, what the fuck am I doing with this little bell? I don't want to be hitting all these buttons just so I could say, please show me what I want to be shown. And then I'm getting all these Twitter messages like, YouTube unsubscribed me from your channel. I haven't watched in a couple months, and now YouTube just unsubscribed me from your channel, which is the worst. Because YouTube, you've had people working so hard on your website for so many years to build an audience, which is what everyone in entertainment does. And it's not just specific to the internet or to this one website. Every entertainer, musician, comedian, artist of any kind works as hard as they can to build an audience so they can make stuff for that audience. I've worked as hard as I possibly could to build an audience, and now you're taking that audience away from me little by little because your shit is too big to handle. So why do I keep making stuff? Why is this still worth it? I always kind of knew this, but I only knew how to put it into words recently. There have been many experiences that I've gone through in the past, and especially recently, that helped me understand a couple of the most important things in life. One was 8 years ago. I got real sick. I almost died 8 years ago. And I was surrounded by family at the time. And that pulled me through that whole situation. Rewind back further to me being like 5 or 6 years old. And my dad got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And he was couch ridden. And in our old house in Stratford, Connecticut. And my dad, being a dad and being a great dad, would want to play with me, but he wasn't physically able to do that. So he'd be on the couch, and he'd have the family video camera, which was attached to a VCR, which was not convenient for anyone. Wires all over the house. And he would film me dancing around in my little sneakers to Michael Jackson in my Mets, New York Metropolitans jersey. And the videos were mostly of my feet because, like I said, he had MS, and so he sucked at holding the camera by that point. But what I was doing for him, which I didn't understand until years later, was I was playing with my dad, and I was making him feel better. He was stricken down by this disease, and he was immobile, but he still wanted to play with his son, and his son wanted to play with him. So I was doing my little dance. I was entertaining my dad, and I was making him feel better. Fast forward all the way to June of this year, and I had my kidney problems, the kidney stone thing. There's a whole video about it if you want to hear that entire story. But I was in the hospital for a couple days, and I was getting not good news, and I was, I have to do all these tests, and there's one thing after another, and I'm like, this is the last thing, then I can go home. Then this is the last thing, then I can go home. And it was never like that. I just kept getting news, and things kept being pushed off, and nothing was getting resolved. And this whole time, I'm going to do that thing where the guy cries on camera, and then the thumbnail is from the guy crying, and then the video gets 100,000 views because someone cried on the video for a second. That's what I'm going for. These are all fake tears. My wife, Zoya, spent every night And every day at the hospital in a recliner next to me. She slept in an uncomfortable recliner while I was hooked up to IVs on this bed, just waiting to go home. During our vacation, by the way, back east to see my family, to see my mom's fucking retirement party. And I had to go through all this shit. And she was there. And she was there to laugh at all my jokes that the doctors didn't laugh at. By the way, doctors, get a better sense of humor. What's wrong with you? I'm dying. Laugh at my jokes. And she was there to make sure I tried food, and she was there every day. And she was the one being like, maybe tomorrow's the day we go home, or, this will be the next thing. This will be the last thing, and then you'll be good to go. And eventually it was the last thing. And eventually I was good to go. And all I could think about was getting out and doing stand-up shows and doing these videos and doing whatever I could to make other people, like people in my position or people in my dad's position, feel better than whatever they feel. The world is always fucking shitty, man. And we're hyper aware of it now because everything is on the internet and everything is broadcast, and we have our own IVs. We're hardline to everything that sucks all the time. And I was lucky enough to be a musician for 15 years, and I tried to make people feel good that way by writing my little sappy acoustic love songs or hanging out with my band, which I had a great time doing always, except for when it wasn't good. And then I had years of making videos where I would walk around in front of my house or give life advice from my kitchen. And what I got from that was years of inbox messages that I get every fucking day. Every day to this day, I get a message that says, "You helped me through this," or "I just got one girl's friend passed away," and they listen to Dynamic Banter. With me and Steve, and you don't get to choose what happens or who it happens to, but you can choose that no matter how fucked up the delivery system is, you could choose to make things that hopefully, if they find the people that they're supposed to find, make you feel a little bit better for a little while. And it's the most valuable thing on earth. There's time, and then there's feeling happy. And that's it. Sometimes your family does that for you. Sometimes your friends do that for you. Sometimes they're the problem and you need to go somewhere else. Like when SourceFed got bought out and we all got fired, I just saw all these messages, and I was only lucky enough to be part of that for like 2 years or whatever. So all these messages be like, what the fuck is supposed to happen to this thing that I wake up with every day? I wake up, SourceFed put out like 5 or 6 videos a day, and all of a sudden it was gone. And there were all these people who were just lost. Like I watch this shit every day, and you just bought it out, just some corporate takeover, and you put all these talented people, these funny, talented people on the street. And now what the fuck am I supposed to do? And smart people kept doing shit. Like look at the Sugar Pine 7 guys. Steven kept doing shit. And now he has this fun daily thing that you can watch every day. Me and Steve kept doing our podcast. So many people. And whether they got their footing right away or not, everyone from that group kept doing shit because they all recognized the value in the audience that we had, and maybe to different degrees. But the bottom line is those people were looking for a place to go every day to feel better and to feel good about themselves and to at least start their day with a smile. Is this on? Thank God. And I'm just incredibly lucky to be a part of something like that since YouTube started. Even though a lot of it is fucked now. They're trying. There are people there who are trying to make things good. But most of them will admit that it's too big. It's too big to wrangle, and it's too big to curate. And it's like, at the very least, all these people who go out of their way to find you or to find me, you better fucking believe I'm going to do the best that I possibly can to be as authentically myself as I can, just give you my viewpoints of the world and try to make you laugh, whether it's live, which has been the greatest growing experience of my entire life, doing all this stand-up stuff for the past 8 or 9 years, or here, where you could anywhere in the world just flip open an app or go on a website and see me if you could find me. So none of this is angry. This is all just like, if any of you ever get that weird questioning in your head, like, why does Mike still do this? He used to have fucking, he would get 100,000 views on a video, and now these get between 4,000 and 7,000. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, especially if it's not the only thing you do. Like, I was never solely financially dependent on this website because it's somebody else's fucking website, dude. It's somebody else's fucking website. This isn't my shit. This is something I was doing in somebody else's house for 12 years. And I'm going to keep doing it because I like doing it. And I like showing up and I like entertaining you. But I'm sure I get something out of it too. But that's it. And I'm sorry that it started so angry, but that's how you got to connect with something outside of the numbers or the comments or whatever. You got to connect with what makes making things good. My stomach just made a loud noise. Did you hear that?